Good morning, gang. It's my. It's morning for you, but here it's late. And actually, Papa is away at a men's meeting, so I thought while it was quiet in our little apartment, kind of quiet, that I would do our lesson for today. So I need you to grab your Bible. We're going to be in the book of Matthew, Matthew chapter 9. Matthew chapter 12, verse 9. Matthew 12, verse 9. And we're going to tell you another story about Jesus because we're exploring the life of Christ. So, Matthew chapter 12, verse 9. And it says, When he was departed from thence, when he was departed from there, he went into their synagogues. Now, what is a synagogue? It is like their temple. It's like their church. And whenever Jesus, God, came into a new city, he would go directly to their synagogue, to their temple, to their church, and he would start preaching. So he went into the synagogue, and it was the Sabbath day. Now that is Saturday. It's not our Sunday, but that's when the Jews worshiped, and they worship on the Saturday, on Sabbath. And there were some special rules about the Sabbath. On the Sabbath, you were not allowed to do any work. So the day before, the women would do all the cooking so that they didn't have to work on the Sabbath. On the Sabbath, you were not allowed to walk from your house more than a certain amount of steps because anything more than that was work. So there were all sorts of rules. If you couldn't take care of your animals even on the Sabbath. It was not right. You could only do so much, and if you went past that, then you were breaking the law. You were breaking the Jewish Sabbath law. So he's in the synagogue and it's Sabbath. Let's see what happens. Verse 10 of chapter 12 in Matthew, and it says, And behold, there was a man which had his hand withered, which means his hand was all crumpled up. You've probably seen people with arthritis and their hands are turned funny in their in funny shapes. And this man couldn't use his hand. It was all crumpled up. And they asked Jesus, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath? That they might accuse him. They were trying to make Jesus sin against the law. That's so funny because God is holy. He does not sin. And the Sabbath and all their laws, they were trying to use that to trick Jesus. So let's see what Jesus does. And he said unto them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if that sheep falls into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold of it and lift it out? He said, if you had a sheep and it fell into a ditch, would you just let it sit there and die? Or would you lift it out and take care of it, even if it was a Sabbath day? He wanted them to answer the question. He says, how much more then is man better than sheep? You know, the world wants to tell us that we're no better than animals and that we need to treat the animals as well as we treat people. Well, we should take care of our animals. We should treat them well. But people are far more important because we have souls that will live forever. And so he was saying, how many of you would not take care of that sheep? He says, how much more then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore is it lawful to do well on the Sabbath? He said, I'm not breaking any laws by healing this man's hand, but I'm going to take care of him because I love him. And we need to remember that. He goes on and this is what he does. He then saith he unto the man, Stretch forth thy hand. And he stretched forth his hand, and it was restored whole like as the other. Then the Pharisees went out, and they held counsel together. They gossiped together because they wanted to destroy Jesus. Wow, these people hated Jesus Christ. That's really sad. Jesus came to help the world, to save the world, to show people that he was the one and only God, and yet people hated him. And so what did he tell the man? Stretch forth your hand. The man hadn't been able to, he had one hand that was good and one hand that was crumpled, and he had not been able to move that hand. And Jesus said, stretch it forth. And he stretched it forth, and it became just the same as his other hand. Jesus wanted to show him love, and it didn't matter that it was the Sabbath day. He did what was right no matter what. Do you do what's right no matter what all the time? Do you do everything that you're supposed to do no matter what? We need to make sure that we're following Jesus' example and doing what is right. Love you. Have a great day.